This is Autoline Daily, the show dedicated to enthusiasts of the global automotive industry. This tariff story has all the makings of a TV soap opera. Every day there's a new twist to the plot. And this morning the financial markets were all on the upswing because President Trump said the U.S. was making great progress in hammering out a trade deal with Japan. Meanwhile, Ford and Volkswagen warned their U.S. dealers that if the tariffs go through as planned, they're going to start raising prices on June 2nd. Car sales were strong in March, and reports coming in from the field say that April will be another good month. And once car shoppers get the word that prices will be going up in June, we expect sales to soar in May. But then there could be hell to pay. Pulling all those sales forward now means that the second half of the year could see a big drop-off. Surprisingly, Senator Bernie Moreno, a Republican from Ohio who is a former car dealer and has strong ties to the Trump administration, says that the tariffs will lead to a golden age for the auto industry. He predicts that sales will hit 20 million vehicles a year in the next few years, which would smash all sales records. He told Automotive News at the New York Auto Show that auto tariffs will probably be set at 10%. And he advised automakers to cut a deal with the president. He said they should tell the president, quote, "Here's how much more investment we'll do. Here's what job growth will do. Give us a runway to make that happen." I think there's an administration that's very open to making these kinds of deals, end quote. Well, all we can say is that right now Senator Moreno is largely in a league of his own. Every other automotive executive and expert that we've talked to think that the tariffs will be a disaster for the industry. China is cracking down on how automakers are allowed to test and market self-driving features. The government banned beta testing of the technology, and public testing must now go through official approval channels. Automakers are no longer allowed to use terms like automatic driving, autonomous driving, intelligent driving, or advanced intelligent driving in their marketing. The government is also banning certain capabilities of the technology, including features that require no driver supervision, like valet parking, one-touch summoning, and remote control functions. On top of that, driver monitoring functions cannot be disabled and must detect when a driver removes their hands from the wheel. And OTA updates for safety reasons must now follow recall procedures to receive approval. But that's not the only new safety requirements that companies must follow in China. The government is enacting the world's first standards that mandate EV batteries cannot catch fire or explode even when thermal runaway occurs. Plus, any smoke generated must not harm vehicle occupants. The rules also include new tests for batteries, which go into effect next summer. The new requirements for both self-driving features and EV batteries come shortly after a high-profile crash that killed 3 women who were traveling in a Xiaomi vehicle operating in its assisted driving mode and were unable to escape the car after it caught fire.
Performance that shines, even in the rain. That's what really matters. Bridgestone Potenza tires, improved grip in wet conditions.
Hey there! Enjoy what you're watching? Then consider becoming an Autoline member. Just click the Join button on the Autoline Network YouTube homepage, or we've also set up a Patreon account under Autoline. Now, absolutely nothing will change with the content that we already provide you, but we're giving exclusive access to even more, like early viewing of Autoline exclusives, behind-the-scenes videos, and even live Q&As with John and I. You know, poor Lotus. It's the car company that big automakers want to buy, but then never keep. Ford once owned Lotus, so did General Motors, but they ended up selling it. Then Geely bought part of it, but now Geely is ready to sell too. It exercised its put option to sell its 51% stake in Lotus UK back to Lotus Technology, which puts the Lotus brand back under one umbrella. Geely acquired a majority stake in Lotus in 2017 and since then, Lotus Tech has been operating as a separate unit. Now Lotus Tech must purchase that majority stake, and the end result is that Lotus will reorganize its R&D, engineering, and manufacturing under one brand. Subaru revealed its second fully electric vehicle at the New York Auto Show, an all-new SUV it calls the Trail Seeker. It's also built on Toyota's e-TNGA architecture, but the Trail Seeker is more than 6 inches longer than the Solterra and nearly an inch taller. Most of that was added to the rear of the vehicle, which increases the cargo volume, and I think it makes the vehicle look a little like a station wagon as well. While Subaru is still using Toyota's platform, it says its engineers developed the suspension and all-wheel drive systems for the Trail Seeker, and that it will be made in a Subaru plant in Japan, unlike the Solterra, which is made by Toyota. The Trail Seeker will feature a nearly 75 kilowatt-hour battery pack that returns more than 260 miles of range and dual electric motors that produce roughly 375 horsepower and launch the SUV from 0 to 60 in 4.4 seconds. Subaru says the Trail Seeker comes standard with a NACS charging port and will go on sale in the US in 2026. And speaking of the Solterra, it's also getting a number of upgrades, including fresh new styling. Like the Trail Seeker, the Solterra now comes standard with a NACS port, as well as a Subaru-developed all-wheel drive system, which is more powerful in its base trim, but also adds a new XT model that makes nearly 340 horsepower and does 0 to 60 in under 5 seconds. That same roughly 75 kilowatt-hour battery pack makes its way to the Solterra as well and bumps its range up to over 285 miles or 25% more. But we won't know about pricing until we get closer to its launch later this year, which will also be around the time that the all-new Outback hits the market. Rounding out Subaru's trio of New York reveals, the new Outback comes with fresh styling and is 2 inches taller than before, which increases the amount of interior room. Power comes from either a 180 horsepower 2.5-liter engine or a turbocharged 2.4-liter unit that makes 260 horsepower. Both are mated to an 8-speed CVT and all-wheel drive. Tech highlights include new digital displays and supervised hands-free driving on select highways. Hyundai also pulled the wraps off the new Palisade for its customers in North America. It's bigger than the outgoing model, and it looks like designers really tried to accentuate that size to give the new Palisade as much presence as possible. The interior is a pretty big departure from the previous model as well. Power comes from either a newly developed 3.5-liter V6 that makes about 285 horsepower and is mated to an 8-speed automatic transmission that can send power to 2 or all 4 of the wheels. Or there's a new hybrid setup for the first time that combines a turbocharged 2.5-liter 4-cylinder engine with 2 electric motors that are integrated into a 6-speed automatic transmission. The hybrid is estimated to produce about 330 horsepower while providing over 30 miles to the gallon. It goes on sale this fall, while the V6 version launches in the summer, including a first ever off-road Focus version called the XRT Pro. Next week, Audi is going to unveil the production version of its latest electric sedan at the Shanghai Auto Show. But you don't have to wait until then to learn about the highlights of the show. That's going to be the topic on today's Autoline After Hours. We have Tu Lee from Sino Auto Insights coming on the show, who's an expert on the Chinese auto industry. Sam Abu-El-Samid, who's the VP of Market Research at Telemetry Insights, will also be on the show. And of course, there'll be plenty of opinions on what's going on in the news. So join John and Gary when the show goes live at 3 p.m. Eastern Time today. But that's a wrap for this show, and I hope to see you later today.
Autoline Daily is brought to you by Bridgestone, solutions for your journey. Intrepid Control Systems, over-the-air engineering boost your game. Teijin Automotive Technologies, the formula for better mobility. And by
there's nothing wrong with heavy metal.
Hey, lighten up.
But with world-class composite material, Teijin Automotive Technologies makes vehicles lighter, safer, and more eco-friendly.
Developing today's vehicles, issues can happen in an instant. What good is knowing your problems without the data to solve them? Meet Wireless Neovi Cloud, your secure off-the-shelf solution, empowering real-time collaboration for quick resolution. With Wireless Neovi Cloud, your team can prevent issues before they can escalate. Driver communication data and remote diagnostics to analyze and resolve your problems using OTA, allowing your executives oversight throughout the process. Wireless Neovi Cloud, your vehicle update solution in production and on the road. Intrepid Control Systems, driven by your data.